Hi, I'm Sam, and today we're going to be talking about this 1946 Piper J-3 C-65, better known as the Cub. So the Cub was a great aircraft for training, especially back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and all the way through the 60s. These were the mainstay of basically every flight school back then, post-World War II. They were first produced in 1937 and produced all the way up to the late 40s until the introduction of later Cub models such as the Cub Special and the Super Cub. So the reason it's a C-65 is we have this Continental for the C with 65 horsepower engine, 4-cylinder. So you're cruising about 75 miles an hour going. If you're racing anybody down the interstate, you're losing. But really fun airplane to fly, very easy, good tailwheel trainer. This thing does not have an electric start, so you have to hand prop this thing. So there's a couple different proper hand propping things. You would spin it over, come from the front, or another common way is to do it from the back side so you don't have that propeller coming at you in case the brakes let up. So here's another shot of the engine here. You got your oil reservoir back in here. The nice thing about the Cub, a lot of people who are big motorheads love to just see it because it's right there out in the open. We got all fabric covering for the most part except for the engine area. If we come around here, I'll show you inside the cockpit here. Not complicated at all. We have basic instruments here. We have our airspeed indicator, altimeter, we got a magnetic compass, tachometer for the RPMs, and the oil pressure temperature gauge. So basically everything necessary to safely fly this aircraft. We also have around the front here, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but there's that's your fuel indicator right there. That's the lone fuel tank right there. Dual controlled. So you can see here they both move at the same time. We have our throttles on the left side, get our fuel selector up here, magnetos up there, and we also have an auxiliary fuel tank in the wing. A lot of Cubs didn't have an auxiliary fuel tank. And it's something interesting about, for any of you who are pilots, a lot of general aviation aircraft have toe brakes, so you use your toes. These actually have heel brakes. So if you go up here, you can just look here for the rear seat. There's a heel brake down there next to the rudder pedal. Creates quite a challenge on the ground, something definitely to get used to in my experience flying some tailwheel aircraft. But yeah, very small cockpit. When you're flying solo, for weight and balance sake, you actually fly from the back side, from the back seat. So you are a little bit farther from your instruments, but like I said, they're very easy, not much to go off of. So a really easy aircraft to fly, really docile in the air. And this led to big popularity in the Piper Super Cub, which is the P-18, which is a very popular Bush aircraft nowadays. And as you can see here, a lot of the Cubs don't have this. So we have it clipped in. Gives it a little bit faster speed. It does cut down on the range a little bit, but definitely looks like a little bit more sleek, even though it's not very sleek since it's a Cub. But and then Max will take you around here behind the camera on some panning shots. So, it's a beautiful aircraft with the standard black lightning bolt on a golden yellow fabric there. But it's a beautiful airplane from a really interesting era in general aviation where it really, pun intended, started to take off. But thank you guys for coming along this walk around of the Piper J-3 C-65 Cub. Stay tuned for some further aircraft around the Fargo Air Museum here, and thanks for watching.